The world didn't just change in 1945. It was reset. Not rebuilt naturally, not evolved slowly. Reset. Because when the smoke cleared, something strange happened. The most powerful countries in the world today all emerged from the same war. The systems that control global politics were all created immediately after it. And the technologies that define modern life, they all accelerated at the exact same time. That's not coincidence. That's a pattern. So here's the real question. Did World War II actually end? Or did it become something else? After World War I, the world had a choice: rebuild fairly or punish the defeated. It chose punishment. The Treaty of Versailles didn't just end a war, it created resentment so deep that it guaranteed another one. Germany was forced to pay massive reparations. Its military was weakened. Its economy collapsed. But here's the strange part. History shows that many leaders at the time knew this treaty would lead to another war. And yet, they signed it anyway. Why? Because sometimes instability benefits those who know how to control it. Out of that chaos rose Adolf Hitler. But his rise wasn't sudden. It was gradual, predictable, visible. He violated treaties, expanded military power, spread dangerous ideology, and yet the world did almost nothing until it was too late. This raises one of the most uncomfortable questions in history. Was Hitler underestimated, or was he allowed to rise? When Germany invaded Poland in 1939, the reaction seemed immediate. United Kingdom and France declared war. But then, almost nothing happened for months. This period became known as the Phony War. Think about that. A world war had begun, but the major powers hesitated. Why? Were they unprepared, or waiting for something bigger to unfold? Within a few years, the war expanded across continents. Europe, Africa, Asia, the Pacific. Every major power was pulled in, almost as if there was no way to avoid it. Two sides formed: the Allies, led by United States and the Soviet Union, the Axis powers, led by Germany, Italy, and Japan. But beneath the chaos, something else was happening. While soldiers fought on the front lines, scientists fought a different war, a hidden war, a race for knowledge. And suddenly, breakthroughs started happening at an unnatural pace. Radar systems, rocket technology, early computers, and then the atomic bomb. The Manhattan Project was one of the most secretive operations in history. But here's the mystery. How did humanity go from basic warfare to nuclear destruction in just a few years? Near the end of the war, reports began to emerge. Strange aircraft, advanced weapons, technology that seemed too advanced for its time. After Germany fell, something even stranger happened. Its scientists didn't disappear. They were taken, recruited, absorbed into other nations. Programs like Operation Paperclip brought Nazi scientists into the United States. And suddenly, the same countries that defeated Germany started advancing faster than ever before. So the question is, did the war destroy knowledge or distribute it? While technology advanced, humanity collapsed. The Holocaust remains one of the darkest events in history. Millions were systematically exterminated under Hitler's regime. But even here, questions remain. How did something so massive happen for so long without being stopped earlier? Was the world unaware or unwilling to act? August 1945, the United States dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The official reason, to end the war quickly, but some believe there was another reason, a message, not to Japan, but to the Soviet Union, a demonstration of power. Because immediately after, the world shifted again. The Cold War began. No direct battles, no official declarations, but constant tension. Nuclear weapons multiplied, espionage increased, fear became global. This wasn't a new war. It felt like a continuation, a second phase, a quieter, more dangerous phase. After the war, new systems were created. The United Nations, global financial institutions, military alliances. Everything was reorganized. Everything was structured for stability, but also for control. Because for the first time in history, global power became centralized. The war weakened European powers, and suddenly, colonies began breaking free. India gained independence. Indonesia fought for sovereignty. New nations were born. But their borders, their systems, were often shaped by decisions made during the war. Look around. Modern alliances, global conflicts, technological systems, all of it connects back to World War II. Even today's tensions between major powers echo the same patterns. The war may have looked chaotic on the surface, but behind closed doors, something else was happening. Meetings, negotiations, decisions made quietly, far away from battlefields. Conferences like Yalta and Potsdam weren't just about ending the war. They were about dividing the future. Europe wasn't simply liberated, it was split. Influence zones were drawn, not by the people, but by the most powerful nations. And here's the unsettling part. Many of those borders still define global tensions today. So the question becomes, was the end of the war really about peace, or about deciding who controls the world next?
As Nazi Germany collapsed, something strange happened. Massive amounts of gold disappeared, treasures taken from occupied countries, wealth confiscated from victims. Entire reserves vanished without a trace. To this day, historians still debate, where did it all go? Some believe it was hidden in secret locations. Others suggest it was quietly absorbed into global financial systems. If true, that would mean the economic foundations of the modern world may be partially built on wealth taken during the war. After the war, the United States and the Soviet Union didn't just compete for power, they competed for minds. Through programs like Operation Paperclip, former Nazi scientists were secretly recruited. Men who once built weapons for Germany now helped build rockets, space programs, and advanced military technology for new nations. This raises a difficult question. Where do you draw the line between justice and advantage? Because without those scientists, modern technology might look very different today. The Cold War didn't just stay on Earth, it moved into space. The race to reach the stars became a symbol of power. But here's where things get interesting. Many of the technologies used in the space race had origins in wartime research. Rocket systems developed in Germany became the foundation for modern space exploration. So the question is, was the space race truly about exploration, or was it the continuation of a technological war that never ended? After World War II, intelligence agencies grew rapidly. Organizations like the CIA and KGB became central to global influence. But these weren't just defense systems. They operated in shadows, covert missions, hidden interventions, regime influence. And many of their early operations were directly shaped by lessons learned during World War II, which leads to a deeper theory. What if the war didn't just create new governments, but also created invisible systems of control behind them? The battlefield changed. Weapons weren't just physical anymore, they became psychological. Propaganda evolved, media influence expanded, public opinion became a target. The Cold War wasn't just about weapons, it was about perception. And that same strategy still exists today. Information itself became a weapon. Think about modern life, computers, satellites, the internet. All of these advancements trace back to innovations accelerated during and after World War II. But here's the twist. Many of these technologies were originally developed for control, surveillance, or warfare. Over time, they became part of everyday life. So the question becomes, are we using technology, or is technology quietly shaping us? If you step back and look at the bigger picture, a pattern begins to appear. Crisis, destruction, rebuilding, control. World War I led to instability. World War II reshaped the world. The Cold War maintained tension. Each phase built on the previous one. Each phase increased global structure, and each phase concentrated power further. Coincidence or design? Even today, many World War II documents remain classified. Why? If history is already written, why keep parts of it hidden? There are still mysteries, unexplored bunkers, missing records, unverified experiments, pieces of a puzzle that don't fully connect, and sometimes what's hidden tells a bigger story than what's revealed. Here's the theory that changes everything. What if World War II wasn't just a reaction to global tensions, but an event that certain powers used to reshape the world? Not necessarily planned from the start, but controlled as it unfolded, guided, directed, because from the chaos, a new system emerged, and that system still exists today. Look at today's global structure. Powerful nations dominating international decisions, global organizations influencing policy, technology connecting and monitoring billions of people. All of this became possible because of the changes triggered by World War II. The war didn't just end an era, it started a new one. History doesn't repeat exactly, but it rhymes. Rising tensions, global competition, technological races, the same patterns are reappearing. Different players, same structure, which leads to one final uncomfortable question. Are we heading toward another global turning point? The bombs stopped falling in 1945, but the system that replaced them never stopped evolving. What began as a global war became something far more complex, a network of power, influence, technology, and control that quietly shapes the world today. The borders you see on a map, the alliances between nations, the conflicts that still make headlines, none of them exist by accident. They're echoes. Echoes of decisions made during World War II, decisions that didn't just end a war, but redefined how the world operates. And maybe that's the most unsettling truth of all. History isn't just something we study, it's something we're still living inside. Because if a single war could reshape the entire world once, then it means something else is possible too. Another shift, another reset, another moment that changes everything. But this time, it might not come with warnings. It might not come with armies. It might not even look like war. It could already be happening, quietly, slowly, invisibly. And by the time the world realizes it, it might already be too late to stop it. So the real question isn't just what happened in the past, it's this. When the next global turning point begins, will we even recognize it? Because the most powerful changes in history never start loudly. They start in silence.